From the great state of Nebraska, Omaha is the ultimate destination. But today we're about an hour west. We are in Lincoln, Nebraska, where the Diamond Double is taking place. Fans are rooting for a softball team that's in the College World Series and a baseball team that is hopefully, for them, just starting the journey to the Men's College World Series. We welcome you to the NCAA Baseball Regionals. They are presented by Capital One. Yeah, up late last night to watch an extra inning walk-off homer. These fans are desperate to see this baseball team continue to have success at home. They've lost one time here in this ballpark this season. It's the Summit Tournament champions, the South Dakota State Jackrabbits, making their second NCAA tournament appearance. The last one was in 2013. It is the only bracket that has three ranked teams. We are very much looking forward to seeing what happens at 9 o'clock Eastern time between Ole Miss and Arizona State on ESPN2. But it is Nebraska and South Dakota State to get things started. We welcome you inside our booth here. What a terrific environment. That's Kyle Peterson, and I'm Carl Ravitch. You can see the sun shining, which also is a good thing. Weather wasn't great, but it looks like it's going to cooperate. Meantime, you look at the tournament, not cooperating with all the top-ranked teams.
It's early, Rav. It's early, but
not cooperating.
You know that we're going to see a little bit of this to start, and we've already seen it. Auburn's got their hands full. Florida had their hands full, so the Miss lost an opener to Little Rock, who, remember, last year took LSU to Game 7 in the regional, so the Trojans back at it. But you know you're going to have surprises, and they've started early so far this year.
Let's get some of the headlines. It's been the SEC's World Series. They've won the last 6 straight. Although the team that won it last year's not even in the postseason. LSU is out. Tim Corbin's Vanderbilt Commodores are out. Yes, UCLA has been the #1 team in the poll every single week. That is hard to do. We got a whole bunch of Major League talent that's going to be on all the fields as we begin the regionals, and then of course the super regionals, and then the College World Series. Let's talk about Will Bolt. He was one of the guys that was here that led Nebraska to their first ever College World Series. Now he's the coach. He loves his team. He loves the shortstop, which is a position he played.
Yeah, he's got a kid that's kind of like he was, to be honest. It's a kid that's gotten the most out of what he has, and for Dylan Carey, not a lot of times you get a senior shortstop that's been a starter all 4 years. How about this? He has over 1,000 plate appearances in his collegiate career. Dylan Carey, all-time doubles leader here at Nebraska. The offensive numbers have gotten better every year, but he's an important defensive part of this Nebraska team that leads the country in fielding percentage, one of the biggest reasons why they've been so good at home.
Disappointed he wasn't drafted. He came back. His goal is to play professional baseball, but the immediate goal is to get the Cornhuskers another step closer to the World Series. Back with Kyle Peterson, Carl Ravitch. Kind of little football feel to the Jackrabbits that get slapped on a helmet when you do one of four things. You get an extra base hit, a 2-out hit, a 2-strike hit, or get hit by a pitch. Luke Lusky, the big fella, he's done a lot of all of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the one that is the most powerful in this offense. Lusky's the guy that could change a ball game, right-hander with power, which is kind of what you want today, because if it's going to fly, it's going to fly to left, center. They're going to face a really good right-hander. Carson Yassa gets the start. Weren't sure if Nebraska would maybe go somebody else, save Yassa for tomorrow. Instead, they throw the right-hander that has been their best this year. Mid-90s fastball, a couple breaking balls. A curveball is his best. A lot of swing and miss.
Underway, first pitch swung on, center field. Wind will kill that. And Mac Moyers made the first out. We've had one pitch. We got one out on a fly ball to center field. It is a Nebraska defense that prides itself on its ability to make plays. They've turned 45 double plays. They've made only 31 errors all year. That's a .985 fielding percentage. And yes, Mac Moyer is the son of Jamie Moyer out there in center field. So Owen Seegert retired on a fly to center. And that brings up the third baseman, Nolan Graw. Nolan is hitting .315. 18 doubles, 7 home runs on the season. Infield straightaway, next pitch. That's in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike from Yassa, who spells his last name, as you can see on the back of his jersey, J-A-S-A. 109 strikeouts, most by a Husker in the Big Ten. He's ahead 1 and 2 in the Big Ten era, 7th all-time in program history. Graw's got 138 career hits in 103 games. Yassa ready. And he lands it. Now breaking pitch in there for a call, strike 3.
3 straight breaking balls right there. The last one looked like it was the curveball. A couple sliders before from Yassa. Finish him off with the curveball that froze Graw. Really good start for the big right-hander too. He's pounded the strike zone. He's controlled the 2 breaking balls so far. Was up both in that at bat. An efficient 2 outs, the last on a strikeout for Yassa.
You can see what he does with that curveball this season. Basically nobody hits it. The first pitch is down to Nate Wachter. Very effective with his breaking balls is Yassa. The Nebraska starters, by the way, they do last. That one's fouled at the plate. 55% of their innings come from the starting pitchers, which is the 8th highest percentage of any team in the NCAA tournament. Wachter, 304. He plays right field for South Dakota State. Look out. Well, KP, the weather has cooperated today. We didn't know that was going to happen, but it's a beautiful day here in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Comfortable breeze. Ballpark's going to play a little bit bigger.
Wachter, that's going to be the first hit of the game. A little end of the bat job into left field. Wachter is aboard. It gets by the left fielder, Jed Buck. And to second base goes Wachter. A mistake out there in left. After we just talked about how efficient they are in their defense.
And again, by fielding percentage, Nebraska tied for the best in the entire country. I'm not quite sure what happened here. There was plenty of time. Jed Buck didn't have to worry about making a throw to second base there either, but kicks off. That extends the Wachter single into a double, and here comes Luke Lusky, who we talked about just a bit ago, who has the ability to change a ball game.
Yep, and Jed Buck and the rest out there on the berm got to be ready for this guy. He steps in with 18 home runs. First pitch, he got jammed, slow roll to short. Carey up with it, travels with it, and still gets Lusky at first. They get around the single, they get around the error, and the Huskers at home, where they're 23-1, will have Mac Moyer leading off. First regional at Haymarket since 2008. And it's a Nebraska team that will come to the plate for the first time in the postseason, the regionals. They'll have Mac Moyer leading things off, followed by Jeter Worthley, who's just a freshman and usually would catch, but today with Yasa on the mound, they have Fikes, who hits in the 8th spot behind home.
It's an efficient offense, too. It's another thing, you better not miss inside. Because if you miss inside, they ain't moving. They've been hit by 119 pitches this year, the Huskers have.
That just sounds painful, and the other team has been hit by 100 plus as well. I mean, we're over 200 hit batters in this series. Ouch.
Somebody try to top that. Leading the country right now, and that Sammy Schleck to be on there. For South Dakota State, right-hander, fastball, 2 different breaking balls, leans on his changeup, especially against lefties. Gets some pretty good swing and miss against that. I think the key today is you got to force Nebraska to beat you offensively, which they definitely can. They've done that over the course of the year, but in a game where you come in as the underdog, you cannot give free bases to the team in the Scarlet and Cream.
Start off with Mac Moyer, the center fielder. Infield straightaway. The first pitch at the knees in there for a called strike. And Mac chose not to be a pitcher. He is an outfielder, obviously. And it didn't start the first couple of games, but the first time he got in, he had 4 hits in the game. And he hasn't come out since. And he'll lead this one off with a slow breaking ball back up the middle. And Moyer is on for Nebraska. Here comes a kid who they believe has a chance to be a star, Jeter Worthley. Local guy, the designated hitter today. Again, will catch, terrific athlete. 324 on the season. And a good contact hitter. He is the fastest guy on the team. Moyer's got 8 stolen bases. They don't hit it over the wall often. They don't steal bases very often, but Schleck will go back over to first base.
We got 2 teams in this tournament with over 100 home runs. Nebraska has 60 as a club.
Right.
So exactly what the calling card is.
And he gets ahead 0-1. A fastball right down the middle to Worthley, the DH. We talked about the hit by pitches. This guy's been dinged 19 times. Be careful of throwing him a breaking pitch. He hits over 400 against him. This one is back up the middle, should be 2. And Jersley turns it by himself. Good pitch by Schleck, came in on the fists of Worthley, and it's a 6-3 double play.
That fastball from Schleck is going to be 85 to 87, somewhere in that range. That last one at 85, but it does have good arm side run. And so it's not all just about velocity. With that arm side run, the 2-seamer runs in on the hands of Worthley. Nice job by Keegan Jersley. Probably a name that is familiar to those that know the game well. Takes it himself. 2 outs on 1 pitch right there.
Baseball royalty, that name, Jersley. The first one to carry. The shortstop, who we've talked about, misses away. And the next one from Schleck. Another one that just misses off. The count goes 2 balls and no strikes. Three and 0. Foxfield at Haymarket Park has been waiting for this since 08, and they have a team that's easy to root for. And the guy that we talked about at the top, Carey, is back on base. He walks, and a 2-out walk leads to Case Sanderson, the cleanup man. Sanderson is a 17 doubles guy this season. He's knocked in 48. Carey stays put. First pitch, strike 1. Junior out of Nevada, Missouri. You see that very, very high OPS. Pretty good lead for Carey, not going, and a big swing and a miss. Defense that has made 48 errors this season. And the next one sails high. Non-competitive pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes. .975 fielding percentage. Luke Jones is the catcher. Billy Van Raphorst is our umpire today, calling balls and strikes. 2 down, bottom 1, 1-2. And this one is into right. It's going to get down in front of Wachter. A quick look to the third base coach from Carey. It's first and third with 2 outs on a single from Case Sanderson.
Nebraska not a team that runs a ton just as far as stolen bases, but they can be aggressive going first to third. A good read right there by Dylan Carey on a day that I think everybody thought they weren't sure if it was going to rain, not rain. They showed up. And if the Huskers win, they will really show up tomorrow night.
Yeah, tickets all went with about 15 minutes on the clock. They were gone. They were talking about getting 8,000 to 10,000 in here. Drew Grigo fouls one off the screen as he tries to bring in the first runs for the Huskers. Grigo's got 44 runs batted in. He's the right fielder, a .339 batting average. And the reason he swings at the first pitch, his batting average on those is over 500. Foul ball, just foul. You saw the effort by Franke over there at first. Our first base umpire, Mitch Holman, had a really good look at it.
Yeah, you can't get a much better look than that. About 10 feet away, standing just in foul territory. That just missed for this year's Big Ten freshman of the year out of Bellevue West High School, not far down the road.
Can Schleck bury him? He's got him ahead 0-2 with men on the corners. Runner goes, and he got him swinging. An off-speed pitch from Schleck. Looked like a changeup that just dove. And they will strand 2.
Sammy Schleck with the big swing and miss to get him off the field. A couple of hits, but both of them stranded out there. A scoreless first to start Leggett.
We are back. Our score is 0-0. Meantime, around the country as this tournament gets underway with 64 teams, East Carolina scores a run. They lead Tennessee 4-3 in the 14th inning. That has been a tight one all day. First pitch as we begin the second inning from Yasa. To Luke Jones, the catcher, and the next one swung on the ground to short. Carey up with it and fires a seed across to first. Second out he has made. So you get a good look at Will Bolt, who helped bring this team under Dave Van Horn. It was part of Dave Van Horn's first recruiting class, and they ended up going to the World Series. The relationship between Bolt and Van Horn and his pitching coach Rob Childress is real. He's got him going to their 4th NCAA appearance. It is the 7th season here. He does bleed Cornhusker red, man. That guy right there, Will Bolt.
Will, the Texas native that came up here and really was a big part of getting this Nebraska program started. There was next to no team history before those guys got things going. Got there for the first time in '01, opened this ballpark up the following year.
Famously made the catch on the final out that got them to the World Series in the regional. We got to show you that video because the field itself was bizarre in that part of it was turf and part of it was grass. This one is going to go foul off the bat of Carter Taylor.
It's the beauty that was Buck Belzer Field. Come on now.
How would you describe it if you just landed from the moon?
Rare. Wichita State had the same thing, to be fair, but yeah, watch Will at shortstop. Now we're just going to start throwing stuff. That's gone. That's gone.
Because we're gone. We get to go to the World Series. See how this next one comes inside. It's kind of an interesting story about the way that Bolt ended up in Nebraska. The next one is fouled off. He had been, for lack of a better term, bugged by Dave Van Horn.
He was then at Northwestern State.
At Northwestern State. And he said, hey, Will, we'd like you to come play for us. And Will was convinced he was going to be a major league player. Northwestern State didn't fit his plans. And that's in there for a called strike 3. Good pitch, that time by Yossa to freeze Carter Taylor. It is his second strikeout. Finishing, go ahead.
Tallied it up to 97 right there. Yeah, so it's, well, it's Dave Van Horn and Rob Childress, who were both on that same staff. They didn't have the arms like this down Northwestern State at that point. Yossa just lets 97 go for his second strikeout.
Want to know to Frankie. So at Northwestern State, he's calling Bolt, and Bolt's like, I'm not really interested. And then a couple of months after he told him buzz off, he called again. That's a check swing and a strike. And Bolt's like, why is he calling me? I don't understand. I told him no. And, you know, back then there was no internet and no cell phones and no social media. So he says, I'm in Nebraska. And that kind of changed the tune for Will Bolt as Frankie, with 2 outs, delivers a single up the middle.
So he's glad he answered the call.
Yeah, exactly. 2 months later, he didn't say delete, report, spam, junk it.
He said yes.
He said yes. So first 2 innings, he also has been able to get the first 2 that he's faced, and then back-to-back singles in each of these innings. First pitch to the 8th hitter. Keegan Jersley is down and misses. The name Mike Jersley is very, very well known. 11 years, a manager in the Omaha Storm Chasers, 36 years in the minor leagues. He was perhaps going to come to Nebraska to play football, maybe quarterback, but he was also the 5th round pick of the Texas Rangers in '77, and he opted to go to the baseball route. He's Keegan's grandfather. No swing. Third base coach of the Kansas City Royals was Mike Jersley from 2014 to 19, which means, yes, there were a couple of World Series appearances and a World Series ring. Remember that team, Kansas City, KP, one of their watchwords was speed. And Eric Dyson was one of the favorites on that team, and he loved himself. So Mike Jersley thought he was as important a guy in his life and career as there was. Check swing, foul ball.
There was a pretty prominent Husker on that team too. Alex Gordon, one of the best ever come through. It was a big part of those Royals runs that they had. Still very active behind the scenes with his program.
Yossa looking for his 3rd strikeout, and he got it. Letter high cheddar. Some lettered cheddar from Carson Yossa. Crowd is into it. Now they're looking for some runs to be scored. 0s on the board for South Dakota State. Huskers back home looking for some when we get back. Again, they got a softball team that won the walk-off last night. They beat Arkansas on a home run, and here come the men. 20th appearance. This is the first time they've hosted in Nebraska since '08. 4 Supers, 3 World Series appearances in '01, '02, '05, and a sea of red, which we expect, if they can pull off a win today, to swell to upwards of 8,000 to 10,000 here at Haymarket Park. We start the second inning. It'll be Jet Buck, Joshua Overbeek, and Trey Fikes. What has turned into a spectacular afternoon, and these fans are out here drinking it all in.
What do you got, Rev? What are your early Lincoln returns?
Hard to beat. I mean, you're sitting here looking over at Memorial Stadium, skyline to the right. Haymarket Park is a special place, as that's called the strike. What I think is just so cool for Nebraska is the conference itself's been elevated by the West Coast teams coming in. The softball team, the volleyball team, sports, they seem to be, and you know this better than anybody, as this one has popped up for a routine play by Siegert in center field. The hunger for the diamond sports, to see what the women's softball team is doing. They had that, they hosted here last weekend. It was a madhouse.
Yeah, that was quite an evening last night, too. Walk them off late. This place was crazy for 2 straight weeks. You got softball hosted for 2 straight weeks. Now you got baseball hosted.
Yeah.
We talked about the success of the other programs. How about basketball? Winning their first NCAA tournament ever, go to the Sweet 16 for the first time. They play just across the walking bridge at Pinnacle Bank.
Anytime you can get a good bridge walk in, it's a win, right?
We all know that.
Ava Kuzak hit that home run last night in the 10th. They beat Arkansas 5-3. This one is out of play to the left. Jordy Fromm got a chance to come back after a couple of College World Series. She threw 10 innings. They've won 27 straight. There is that walking bridge that KP talked about. It's a really, really great area. You can just tell Will Bolt, man, he is invested, and he's got the players invested as well. Talked about Overbeek yesterday, telling us that this is really the igniter. This is the lifeblood of this team. We've mentioned Dylan Carey a lot, but it's Joshua Overbeek who is looked on to help them when times may be a little dark, which hasn't really been the case this year, and certainly not at home. The 1-1 out of play.
There's a guy on every team that you got to look past whatever the stats say, and Overbeek is definitely that guy for Nebraska. It's a veteran presence. It's somebody they really trust. Not exactly the offensive year they thought he'd have, just 3 home runs for Overbeek, but he's going to be in there every day.
I think the term he used was heartbeat guy. 1-2, a little late, but he fouled it off. So the battle has begun.
Rav, there's certain things that we need to come back in life. And one is the pine tar covered helmet.
Yep, fair.
Which we have, right? Like pine tar seems to just start disappearing more every year. This is the way that your helmet is supposed to look.
Yep. And when you touch it with your batting glove and then bring it to the bat, you're never going to lose the bat. If missed. That's a very good point. We should probably come up with like a top 3 things that have changed in baseball that we miss. Pine tar.
That's high on my list.
Is on the list. Overbeek, by the way, broke his foot twice in the last calendar year, so he lost a little bit of his speed as he swings, and this could be trouble down the line in left field. Peeling foul, and it will go foul. He didn't play in the regional last year, and then he broke it again in the fall. He is a guy that was in his junior year able to steal a bunch of bases. Case this year for Joshua Overbeek, but a good battle right now with Sam Schlecht, who left 2 runners on in the first. I'd say on my list of things I missed, just baseball-wise, remember the major leagues when they used to have the golf carts with the helmets, bringing the pitchers out from the
bullpen carts.
Yeah, I need those back.
That's something that feels like it might come back.
I mean,
it should.
It should. It's a fan-friendly thing. And Overbeek, a little squibber that is going to go foul again. Yeah, it would speed up the game. The guys have gotten a lot better about running in from the bullpen. Plus, there's clocks everywhere, so there's a clock. Probably going to need to put a clock on Kevin O'Sullivan as long as the Gators stay in the postseason for his walks to the mound.
Not brisk. Looks like he may have made a few of those today, too. Gators took everything that they wanted to win the opener against Ryder today.
Overbeek ready for the 9th pitch of this plate appearance. Another 3-2 and another pop-up, and that one is going to get into the seats. So the funny part about Will Bolt catching that ball on that field that had both grass and AstroTurf is he said, you know, the team was offered to play the postseason in this ballpark. It finally was ready to be played in, and they said, no, we're going to stick right here.
This is our place for now.
Who else?
We're not leaving Buck.
Who else has this? And that one got him, and Overbeek, who has been drilled 18 times, now 19. And one out,
okay.
He's aboard.
Let's talk about the mentality of this Nebraska offense. This is going to be ball 4. So if you would like to avoid getting hit, you're still going to be at first base, but who cares? Just wear it, and the outcome's going to be the same. But instead, he stands in there and takes it 120th time that Husker hitters have been hit by a pitch this year.
And here is Trey Fikes, the outfield in center, very shallow with that wind blowing in, and that first pitch is a little bit high from Schlecht. Dakota State acknowledges that their bullpen is balky. Their ERA out of the pen is 7.52. They really need length from Schlecht. And did we get another? Yes, we did. Little arm side run there. That drilled Fikes. 2 on, both hit by pitches. Had this conversation with the head man for Arizona State yesterday. As you look at Rob Bishop, the head guy for South Dakota State, like if the ball's going to hit you, it's okay. We'll take the base. That's an opportunity to create chaos. Willie Bloomquist was sharing that. The off-speed one lands against Rhett Stokes. Rob's been around for 10 years. He's got them in their first NCAA tournament, but he has been coaching for upwards of 3 decades. Stokes looks at one high.
Well, this South Dakota State team did something that not too many in the Summit League do, and that's knock Oral Roberts out in the postseason. Had to beat him twice.
Yep.
Had to win that Summit League tournament to advance on to just their 2nd NCAA tournament ever.
Nebraska won 23 games at home. South Dakota State won 24 games overall. Nebraska had 2 on in the first, doing it again here in the second. It's Stokes, the second baseman, and a meeting on the mound has got the faithful enjoying what they're seeing. And it's 2 hit by pitches and a 2-1 count that has led to the meeting.
Michael Newstrom's a pitching coach of this Jackrabbit staff, and maybe a few of these today, but this feels like one of those big moments. You get a 2-1 count, you got activity on a base pass at first and second. The leadoff hitter Mac Moyer waiting on deck, who's already singled today.
Well, they stand right up on the plate. It's quite clear that both of these teams know, in some ways, because of that aspect of it, they can say there's some parts of it that are mirror images. Our game later tonight will again have 2 teams that are in some ways mirror images of each other. 9 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN2. Ole Miss and Arizona State. 2-1 with Overbeek out there at second. Swing and a miss. He went right back to that fastball. He spun a double play on Jeter Worthley in the first to get out of it. And he got him in chase up top. That meeting worked beautifully. Attack him in the upper part of the zone, and Stokes, the 9-hole hitter, is gone.
Came back with just 2 straight fastballs right there. The first at 87, the last at 88. Does have pretty good arm side run. Stayed near the top of the zone right here, maybe just out of it. Red Stokes swings at what may have been ball 3 right now, but close enough you got to go after. Big strikeout right there for Sam Schlecht.
Chance for Mac Moyer, leadoff hitter, singled back up the middle his first time up. Looks at an off speed that's off the plate. .343 batting average, runners on. Moyer likes this situation. That's in there at the letters. I think Mac had a pretty good experience growing up when it came to being around clubhouses and then having somebody throw to you, because Jamie had a rubber arm.
And he threw a lot of strikes. I would say that was probably pretty good BP.
Yeah, Jamie played for what, 8, 10 teams in the major leagues?
Just 20 years, wasn't it?
Yeah. World Series in the next one, and that ball is driven towards left to the corner. Taylor continues to drift over there as the wind kept carrying it. And Carter Taylor is there to take one away from Moyer. It was going to be a foul ball, but instead it's the end of the inning. We're through 2, and we're hanging donuts on the board. Back with Kyle Peterson, I'm Carl Ravitch. College baseball, the regionals just underway all day today and tonight. ESPN Plus, ESPN2, don't forget Squeeze Play. Now here they are, the Summit League champions. They beat Oral Roberts 7-3, then 9-6. Second time that they had a cut at that. They beat them twice. Ty Madison, who ended up being the tournament MVP through 10 innings, gave up just 1 earned run for Rob Bishop, who took over the head coaching job back in 2017. And by the way, they were a NCAA Division II team before they moved to Division I at the start of 2005. 9 times an NCAA Division II postseason team. In 1984, they made it all the way to the College World Series.
Well, you got to remember, too, that Oral Roberts team they beat was in Omaha just a few years ago.
Next one misses. 2 balls and a strike. Nick Work is the number 9 hitter. What do you make with the Jackrabbits on the helmet on vis-a-vis football players?
I think it's kind of cool. I like it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, and this happens so often, Rab, but you alienate the pitchers a little bit. What do they get? You get a strikeout, you don't get anything. You got to consider them.
It's a little bit high. Yeah, you can't dismiss that.
It's they have feelings.
It's exactly, there you go. And now we're getting to the softer side of KP. And that one just missed. That's going to be a leadoff walk worked by Nick Work out of the 9 spot. KP, you want complete coverage of everything happening with the baseball regionals? I know you do. You can go to ncaa.com for the latest news, the insight, the analysis. That's the ncaa.com. As the field of 64 was unveiled. Great job, by the way, in the selection show, you and everyone else on Monday.
That's a fun one.
As you look back on it with our field now established, did you have because with the NCAA men's and women's basketball tournaments, there's always a snub. Was there a team you thought deserved to be in?
Mercer comes to mind first for me. There's always arguments against too. I mean, if you're on the bubble, you're on the bubble for a reason. I would have had Arkansas as a host instead of Mississippi State. It would have flipped. I would have definitely had Nebraska and Kansas stay in there. But other than that, I thought it was pretty good. I think Arizona State was probably a little bit surprised they were a 3.
Yeah, a lot of people
look at 3s. I mean, you go Arizona State, Jacksonville State. It's probably the 2 toughest 3s that are out there.
Could have been a 2, no doubt about it. Runner goes, swing and a miss. Throw down is to the shortstop side. Tag is applied, but safe with a steal is Nick Work. So out on the swing is Siegert. Third stolen base for Work.
I like taking a chance right here, though. I mean, if you're Rob Bishop, it feels like you're going to have to press a few buttons during the course of the game. And Nick Work not exactly known for the stolen bases. That's just his 3rd stolen base and 3rd stolen base attempt of the year. So even on the strikeout, you advance the runner.
Gets us to Nolan Graw. Struck out his first time up, and that first one from Yasa misses high and away. Yeah, Graw, that's a swing. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, on average, we have 10 of the 16 1 seeds that advance every year. So you get 6 lower seeds that get through in a region. We've already had 1 go down. And Auburn trails Milwaukee 13-7 in the 9th.
We just saw Auburn in the SEC tournament. The starting pitcher today, what did he last an inning? Inning and a third?
Yeah, he went inning and change. He gave up 6 earned. Cole Marciano, and then LJ Cormier came in after and gave up 4 earned. And both of them were lights out, not just last week, but throughout the course of the year.
Yeah. That one missed away. Marciano just throws strikes. We saw him in Omaha. We saw Cormier come on in relief, throw 4 innings like it was a walk in the park. Not today. 2-2 on the way to the 2-hole hitter, Graw. On the ground, smothered over there by Sanderson. Is he going to be safe? He is. And the runner stays at third. Good job by Sanderson to prevent the run. But a little late, Yasa getting off the mound, and that's going to be a hit and men on the corners.
It's not going to go as an error, and I'm not sure if they get over there and get it anyway, because Graw does have pretty good speed, but ultimately it's somewhat of a mental error on the mound. Watch Yasa when he lets it go. It's enough of a hesitation. If you're not breaking right away, especially with a left-handed hitter, there's no chance. Honestly, and you don't see it very often. It's probably one of those Sanderson shouldn't even throw. There's nothing good to come out of it if the throw's a little bit offline. A base runner potentially scores. Now Rob Childress going to make his way out. We talk about Will being here 7 years. Rob has now been back here 3, but was a pitching coach for Dave Van Horn. That was a head coach at Texas A&M for over a decade. This is a guy that knows ball, man. And it is pretty cool, I think, for Will to have Rob, a guy that was an SEC head coach for 12 years at A&M.
Yep.
Guy they played for, guy they coached under.
Exactly.
Will was an assistant at A&M. Now being the dugout next to him the whole time.
Great chance for the Jackrabbits of South Dakota State to score first. The 3-hole hitter is Wakta. He singled his first time up. It's an infield that has made a living making and turning double plays, 45 of them. Work is at third base. Graw is at first. A attempt to think about a bunt pulled back by Wachter.
Yeah, it's something South Dakota State has done a fair amount. They do have 30 sack bunts this year, but Wachter doesn't have any. But right there, I mean, it was a safety the entire way. That base runner on third base is waiting and reading whether or not the bunt is down.
Yassa's next one, no. 2 balls, no strikes. A little anxiety being felt right now inside of Haymarket Park.
See if they let him pull it back. You get the entire right side of the infield open.
Yep.
And if it's anything on the ground to the right side, that base runner is going to score.
On the ground, they will look to second, to first, and there's double play, 46. Just what Childress and Bolt and certainly Yassa ordered. Turned by Carey and Stokes to get out of the inning without a run.
And they go off speed with a 2-0 count. Don't hit it to this guy, because if you do, it's probably going to end up this way. One of the best defenses in the country, showing you why right there.
Welcome back to Lincoln, Nebraska, and welcome back to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Regionals underway today. Georgia Tech, I think, had 9 RBIs from Hernandez, 3 homers in a 22-run performance. So the Yellow Jackets have been phenomenal all year, and a great start to their regional today. Jeter Worthley leads things off. 2-3-4 due up for the Huskers in a 0-0 game. Sam Schlecht fires off speed. That one lands. He's ahead 0-2. Schlecht has done really well. 8 of the 11 guys that he has faced, he has gotten ahead. He has thrown a first pitch strike. Comfortable 40 pitches coming into the inning. Worthley hit into a 6-3 double play after getting jammed.
Really, aside from Moyer's single to start the game, Nebraska hasn't hit a ball hard.
The combined exit velocity of the overbeak swings, in which he had a myriad of foul balls, was probably 44 miles an hour. He just couldn't square anything up.
Then he was standing on first base.
And he ended up on first.
Doesn't it feel like we've just seen a lot of that?
Yes. So I talked to Jeter yesterday about the first name, and of course he said, "Yep, my dad grew up in Boston." I said, "Okay, well, Jeter doesn't make
not making sense yet."
Liner diving catch is made. Nate Wachter with a web gem. A Jeter-like at bat as Worthy went the other way vis-a-vis his namesake Derek Jeter, but a heck of a play by Wachter and right.
Yeah, it's a pretty good route too. Wachter, that ball's right at him. Sometimes not the easiest read. Doesn't cut a whole lot, but just enough. Got to lay out to make that play, and now you're taking a chance. That ball gets by. That could be an inside to Parker for Worthy. Instead, a great play by Nate Wachter to get the leadoff man up here in the third.
That's a big one too. Keep the leadoff man off base. Worthy battled back from an 0-2 count as you take a look at Nate out there in right. Back to Dylan Carey. Not too far inside. Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. The shortstop for the Cornhuskers. That one lands on the corner inside. He has a couple of questions for Billy Van Raphorst. Four-year guy, he is the 9th in program history with 200 hits, 150 runs, and 150 RBI. Dangerous 3-1 pitch to the 3-hole hitter Carey. Swung on, and this one is hit to right. Into the corner it goes. So does Wachter, and it's foul. You know, and it caused you to look at the flags, and the wind direction had changed a little bit. Instead of blowing hard out to left, they seem to be coming in from left. That one kept pushing the ball away. So it's 3-2. .356 to left center field, 342 to right center. The carry is out to left center. Dylan Carey getting some serious hacks in here against Schlecht. And he will get a hit. Didn't come off the bat very hard, but Carey with one out is aboard. He's reached base both times he's been up. Will Bolt decides to get the running game going a little bit with Carey. As Kyle said, it's not a team that runs a lot, but he's the leader with 9 stolen bases. Sanderson singled his first time up. He is going, and he fouled that one off.
Oh, he had it stolen too. That one he had stolen, and you're not going to put a take on with Sanderson right there. It's a little bit tougher for the left-handed hitter too, out of the corner of the eye to see that base runner going, but that was a very good jump by Carey to start.
He's not going this time, and that's outside. Anderson hit the walk-off homer to help Nebraska get past Michigan State. And then the past week, swing and miss. Boy, he changed him there with those speeds way out in front.
Been 2 main off-speed pitches for Schlecht so far, and both are in that low 70-mile-an-hour range. That was the curveball. He's thrown the changeup a fair amount to left-handers too.
So the Big Ten tournament down in Omaha, the Huskers and the Wolverines played till what, about 2 in the morning?
Yeah, they had the late game. Some good ones, man. It felt like every game at that Big Ten tournament was a one-run game.
Spoiled there. Yeah, the one that lasted until 2 a.m. They started around 10:20. That was the game that UCLA walked off Purdue. The one thing is, you look at the tournament and UCLA being #1 all year long, UCLA's had a whole bunch of come-from-behind wins. They haven't rolled over everybody. And in that Big Ten tourney, every time
I think it was all 3.
Berkey and I looked at the scores, they were down.
Yeah.
Ended up winning all of those games. Again, join Squeeze Play on ESPN Plus. They get you the live action of every single game as it's happening, the updates instantaneously. With Matt Schick, Runes, and Berkey, and Chris Budden, of course. It's a great watch. It's a great, great program this time of year. Another foul ball. Texas ended up winning their game 19-1. So Texas flexes, so does Georgia Tech, who put up 22.
Texas wins by 18. Yankees have some work to do. They're down 3-0 in the third to Lamar.
On the ground to first. We get a balk call. That allows the runner to go to second base.
We'll see what it was. Angel Campos, second base umpire, I think is the one that called it. I think he had him double set, but on a balk, you can allow the play to play itself out too, which is what Nebraska did.
Called strike 3, and a big pitch for Schlecht with a runner in scoring position off of that balk. That shows you a little bit something about Sam Schlecht. He strikes out Anderson looking as Carey waltzed down to second on that balk.
His changeup is one that guys just have not been comfortable with. It spins a ton too, which is rare for a changeup. It gets really good late break. Has good movement away from the left-handed hitter. He got Sanderson chasing there.
We'll see what the Big Ten Freshman of the Year, Drew Grigo, can do as they throw behind the runner, Carey, at second. Carter Taylor very deep in left field. There's another one that goes underneath the bat. It has got some movement on it.
He just keeps throwing the same thing too.
Yep.
He's leaning on that changeup that got really good movement to his arm side and it has really good down. Almost acts a little bit like a split. That has been his best swing and miss pitch the entire year. Nobody hitting righties or lefties. He's hitting better than 167 against it.
361 with runners on base and a late chase on more heat up top. Well, the changeup makes 88 look like 95.
Yeah, and the other thing he's done is changed eye levels.
Yeah.
It's up with the fastball when he wants to. The changeup, by design, he's going to try to throw down and out of the zone.
And this one to center field, positioned beautifully out there, is Owen Seegert, who missed 19 games with an injury. Delighted to have him back. South Dakota State, the Jackrabbits playing toe-to-toe with the Huskers. We'll talk with the head man, Will Bolt, when we come back. Back here in Lincoln, Nebraska, Kyle Peterson, Carl Ravitch, zeros on the board through 3 innings. And one of the men responsible for really rejuvenating baseball, when he was a player, and now again here as the head coach. Will Bolt joins us. Thanks, Will. Let's talk a little bit about the atmosphere. You've got one loss here all year, and a day like this to bring the fans out. What's it like?
Well, to that point, I mean, your guys know the importance of this to the program, and obviously the fan base does too. But how do you kind of bring them back inside the lines once everything starts?
All right, Will, thanks very much. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you, Will.
2 balls and a strike. Luke Lusky. So between Mike Bianco and Willie Bloomquist and this guy, we've had guys that have all been in the College World Series. This one to the track in center, and it is caught just shy of the wall by Mac Moyer. And again, you can see the wind playing tricks with the baseball and the outfielders.
This is 105 off the bat right here. I mean, that's the first ball that feels like it's been barreled up today, and it's the one guy in this lineup that has the ability to hit it out to any part of the ballpark. Seals flags, they're essentially coming straight in from center field. If they are not, it is 1-0 Jackrabbits, because this ball was touched out to center field, the biggest part of the ballpark, and about as far as Mac Moyer could go.
Interesting, if you look at the dimensions, 395 dead center, and where he caught that, it gives you a little 5-foot bump to 400 feet. May have been the difference between a fly out and a home run. So yeah, it is back-to-back Lukes. Lusky flies out, and Jones grounded out his first time up. That one a little high and in, 1-2.
There's the differentiator right there. He gets that curveball going. Yassa's been up to 97 with a fastball, but this is the one that separates it. Is that slow top-to-bottom break a ball at it at 6-7 frame, and it's not easy to convince yourself this thing's going to end up down to the back of the strike zone. That ended up all the way at the bottom part of the strike zone.
I don't think Luke Jones believed any part of that.
No. Where did that come from?
And then there's that as he threw it to the backstop. Yassa's 114 strikeouts, 6th all time in a Nebraska season. He's got 5 in this game. Carter Taylor was one of those 5. On the ground, 2-hopper, fielded cleanly by Carey in an easy 1-2-3 inning that time for Carson Yassa. Whether there was a big fly from Luke Lusky that ended up in the glove of Mac Moyer. We'll talk with the head man Rob Bishop, South Dakota State, after this. This year in the NCAA tournament, of course, the brackets are merged, so this region will eventually send the winner to take on the winner of the Auburn regional. And surprise, surprise, the Auburn Tigers lose the opener today to Milwaukee 13-8. NC State and Central Florida, the other two teams that are in that bracket. That game can be seen tonight at 6 Eastern time on ESPN2. Welcome in, Rob Bishop, of course, the head coach at South Dakota State. Thanks very much for joining us quickly here.
Yep.
So you've been here before, which I would assume you look at as an advantage, although a little different crowd. How does that help your team to know what this field is all about?
I'm not hearing anything.
All right, we'll get back to you, Rob. We'll get back to him. Obviously, we're having a hard time connecting with the head coach as we begin the bottom half of the inning. Bottom of the fourth. Nebraska will have Jet Buck and then Joshua Overbeek and Trey Fikes, and that's a foul ball. Yeah, it feels like a two-pitch mix, KP, that has confounded the hitters for Nebraska. They certainly had chances. There's been a runner in scoring position in all 3 innings, but they haven't been able to come up with that big hit.
Well, here's the thing, too. I mean, aside from the 2 guys he hit, he's thrown a boatload of strikes. And I think that's the key. Coming into it, it felt like if you give this Husker offense help, it could be a rough day. But Schlecht has done a good job, aside from the back-to-back hit by pitches, of doing that.
Liner, off the glove of the third baseman. Graw is going to think about that one. To second base goes Jet Buck, and he is standing there without any throw. That one got on Graw quickly, but he looked right at his glove after. Wondered how come it didn't end up in it.
Well, and this was the breaking ball, too. You can see him spike that breaking ball. The index fingers spiked onto it. It's definitely one you can handle. It's 97 off the bat. It's not an easy play at all. One that gets on Graw pretty quick over at third base, but probably the hardest hit ball of the day for the Huskers right there. It happens at the right time. It'll go as a leadoff double here for Jet Buck to start the 4th.
16th double of the year for Buck. And now Overbeek, as they will discuss how to defend any potential sacrifice here. Buck has got some speed and activity in the bullpen. It is Ty Madison, who has been there every day, go-to, get us out of any jam guy. Four innings and at least a runner in scoring position in all of them for Nebraska. Overbeek pulls it foul.
Bruins not exactly running away with it out at Westwood today. They in St. Mary's. Last check was 2-2 in the 6th.
UCLA has played to the level of the competition in basically every single game they've played the last month and a half, and then win in the end. Overbeek sends one to left field, a one-hopper that's fielded cleanly, and the brakes are put on at third, but it's men on the corners, nobody out after the Buck double and the Overbeek single.
Well, Will Bolt talked about it just a minute ago. Is essentially give them something to cheer for, and you're going to get this crowd into it now. They're a swing away from about 8,000 and about 7,700 of them wearing red. They'll jump right back into it.
Madison begins to throw a little harder out there in that bullpen, and maybe this is the time to make the move with 2 men on in the bottom of the 4th and only 71 pitches thrown from Schlecht.
Ty Madison's been their most reliable out of the bullpen. That's the guy that they trust the most. He does have 6 starts over the course of the year, so it could give you distance too. If you wanted to go high leverage at this point, then ideally see how far he can go. They've danced around it. Nebraska left 2 on in the first, 2 on in the second, 1 in the third, but now first and third, nobody out.
Madison has appeared in 21 games. He started, to Kyle's point, 6 of those, 66 innings. He's been a workhorse for them and effective. This is a jam right now for the Jackrabbits. Schlecht hasn't gotten back on the mound yet. There's an offensive meeting going on between Colton Fikes, the number 8 hitter, the catcher. Limited sample size, but Fikes has delivered with runners on to the tune of a .333 batting average. Overbeek at first. Buck the go-ahead run at third. Fikes liner off the glove of the second baseman. Work. Boy, 2 balls that have gone off the infielder's gloves have led to the first run of the game for Nebraska. Fikes an RBI. Buck is in 1-0 Huskers.
That's the 3 best at-bats in a row that Nebraska's had the entire day. Looks like that will chase Schlecht after this. First pitch, not wasting any time. That's 2 balls, 2 in the inning that are inches away from being caught, totally changing the inning. Instead, it's going to change Sam Schlecht's day, and it will end it right there. South Dakota State will go to Ty Madison, the bullpen.
Madison's coming in, we're coming back. Nebraska 1, South Dakota State 0. Game 1 of the regionals right here in Lincoln. Back after this. New pitcher is Ty Madison. He's inheriting a jam. 2 men on, nobody out. Rhett Stokes, the 9-hole hitter, squares and takes ball 1. Madison's fastball still right around the mid-80s. He'll throw a cutter and a slider and a curveball. For the most part, curveball, fastball.
Senior right-hander from Omaha Westside High School, but has been the guy they trust the most out of the bullpen.
There's a bunt, deadened. Boy, it's a fair ball. They'll throw to first, out at first base. That was interesting because it looked like that had a lot of backspin and may have gone foul, but Jones touched it.
Yeah, and it forced Overbeek to freeze, too, at second base when he saw that ball go up, and I think Nebraska made challenges.
At first base, the play's under review.
Did you think that might have gone foul?
Joey, let's go.
I got to be honest with you, Rav, I was looking at the base runner. I was looking at the base runner at second base because I saw him freeze. And if it's handled cleanly, I mean, he's out by 15 steps at third base.
It looked like, as you would know in golf layman terms, this thing was coming back.
No.
It's a difficult angle there, but I mean, I think it came back with such speed that Jones ran into it instead of fielded it cleanly.
Yeah, and
Pittsburgh come
really,
in. This is
it
Lincoln.
could be one of those two. Let's see. We'll talk to Mike Sirianni. Moving 2 steps to the left or 2 steps to the right in the first base coaching box from now on. This one may cost him.
Not sure if there's enough to overturn it, because obviously the ball's gone and the foot is just on that base.
But it could be one of those spots too, to where sometimes that game does speed up in spots like this for anybody on the infield. And Luke Jones, the catcher, the first place he's looking is base runner, second base. And he knows when he peaks up, they got him if he fields it.
But he got, I think the call stands.
I don't think I see enough from that to overturn.
Yeah.
That being said, if you had called him safe, I don't know that you would see enough from that to overturn it either. I don't think there's anything definitive.
DVS Sport Replay Operations Center in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. That is home to the replay review. You can see all the monitors. They're checking this one out there right now. Regardless, Stokes would have gotten his job done. Obviously,
on the field stands. The runner is out. Nebraska has one challenge,
but he got him into scoring position. It's been a tough inning for the Jackrabbits. With the initial jet buck shot going off the glove of Graw at third for a double, and then the Fikes off the second baseman's glove. Here's the review decision.
After review, the call stands. The runner is out. Nebraska has 1 challenge remaining.
The crowd is into it now.
I always love the booing of a replay. We just slowed it down to frame by frame.
Don't ruin a good boo.
I'm sorry. I rescind my previous statement. Boo away.
Still a big opportunity for that guy, Will Bolt, his team. Mac Moyer comes up. Been terrific all season for them out of the leadoff spot. Tries to check. That's a swing, and that's a strike. The corners there, even with the bag. Moyer swings on a grounder to second. A slow roller will get Moyer out, but I get another run in over Beek. 2-0 Huskers.
Maybe a little bit surprising that South Dakota State didn't bring the infield in. Play that infield back. Mac Moyer has shown the ability to control the barrel, and that's given him a lot of different ways to score that runner. Not hit well, but you don't care right there. As long as he gets past the pitcher, that's going to score another, and the Huskers go up 2-0.
Brings us to the freshman out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Right here, Jeter Worthley. So just to finish the story about Jeter and his dad from Massachusetts and why Jeter, it wasn't really about being an anti-Red Sox guy or being pro-Michigan. He just loved everything about the way Jeter held himself. And in speaking with Jeter Worthley, there are some of those similarities. He's a very mature freshman. Handle himself in a conversation, and he plays catcher generally, but today being the DH. A lot of responsibility, shows the maturity of the kid.
There's been a lot of trust on him too. I mean, it's an OPS right at at 900 coming in. Had a lot of freshmen start most of the year behind the plate, but that time.
Hold on a second before we do. Worthley is suggesting, and the ball is loose on the field. He's like, wait a second, that's not strike 3. Only strike 2. He didn't go anywhere. And that could have been a huge kerfuffle with that ball laying in the middle of the infield. And the runner down there at third base, Fikes, charging for home, which he didn't do.
Different activity based on the color of uniform you were wearing right there.
Yeah, I think.
South Dakota State trying to get off the field, and they all spun around and came sprinting back on him.
Worthley with 2 strikes, swings and fouls one down the first baseline. Again, sorry, but there's some composure out of a freshman who stood there and said, that's only 2.
Well, watch everybody else on the field.
Yeah, everybody, certainly for South Dakota State, bought in.
Ball's laying right in the middle of it, and then looked like Franke on a dead sprint to go get it and make sure that base runner didn't score.
Worley chased, it's in the dirt. He sprints down. They will throw him out at first base. A lot of action in the inning, but in the bottom of the fourth, Nebraska played some crooked number. They lead it 2-0. First game of the regionals in Lincoln.
Welcome to Squeeze Play. All the highlights, all the big moments.
Get a chance to have some big-time fireworks.
6 to 8 games on the screen at one time.
You're going to be locked in for that.
The season on the line.
Hashtag Squeeze Play. Send us some tweets. Maybe we'll put you on the social wall.
The storybook season will continue.
Squeeze Play all day, all night, ESPN Plus. It gets you the scores, the highlights. You get some Runes and Burke analysis. Budden gets to go with the whole quad box thing. You can watch 4. You can watch 8 games at a time. Great watch.
Very heavy caffeination level for Mr. Rooney this morning when they came on the air. It's an aggressive start.
This time of year, and as we look around the scoreboard, and you can see it in the upper right-hand part of our screen, UCLA and St. Mary's 2-2. They're in the bottom of the 7th. Washington State leading Oregon State 3-2.
Well, and UCLA came out and said that Logan Redeman, their ace, who has been their ace the whole year, will not pitch this weekend, and has not pitched in a couple weeks. That is, I mean, they've got plenty of arms, but he's been their best from a starter standpoint. He's been their best all year.
Texas A&M losing 5-0 to Lamar right now. As that one just misses away. The crowd was ready to call it a strike.
Yas is holding his stuff now. That was 97 again.
You pitched obviously at the highest level. I would think you got a 2-0 lead. You know how important this inning is. Maybe a little bit of adrenaline going back on the mound.
Yeah, it'll give you a shot in the arm when you look up on the board and you're up for the first time. And for Nebraska, the win is most important. But length from Yasa today is very, very important. Then you wait and you hope for about a 13-12 game tonight. You don't really care who wins and just watch them beat each other up for 4 hours.
Which is not out of the realm of possibilities.
No, tonight is
good pitchers, by the way.
Big time. I mean, Hunter Elliott pitched in the national championship game.
As a freshman.
Yes, and is still there.
3-2, no. So with a 2-0 lead, how about a leadoff walk to the 7-hitter? And that is Staten Franke, who goes down to first. So you want to be a national seed. Auburn and Southern Miss lose in the opening round, and there are all sorts of statistics which tell you coming out of the losers bracket is not the way you want to go about a regional. 90+% win game 1, 80+% go up 2-0. So Jersley is, of course, the shortstop on this team. His uncle, Justin Jersley, coaches third base for the White Sox and is their infield instructor. So this dude just had like classes every single minute of the day from the Jersley family when it came to baseball.
Probably no surprise that he's playing shortstop.
No, 0. 1-2, Yasa bends one in there, caught looking. Jersley gone. Strikeout number 6 for Carson Yasa.
There's a pretty good chance. Like you can prepare and have scouting reports for somebody, but there's a pretty good chance South Dakota State has not seen a pitch like this the entire year. And that's a 6-7, just top to bottom yacker from Yasa that you can see it on film, you can do whatever you want, but until you're out there and you see it with your own eyes, it's hard to believe it.
6'7", 215 pounds. I mean, you're a big dude. You realize that you'd be a small guy on the mound nowadays? I mean, they're all like 6'6", 6'7".
Maybe with that first number. Second number, I got him licked right now, but
I was just focusing on the vertical.
You're trying to be kind.
Just going vertical.
Thank you.
Inside to work. To your point, that velocity has not dipped very much at all. 96 onto the armpit.
It's a big one here. 3-1 count to the 9-hole hitter, so you're going to turn the lineup over. The South Dakota State lineup with them be seeing Yasa for the 3rd time.
Work had a walk his first time up. That's going to be a strike. 3-2. Keeps going with that slider.
Nebraska selling out on the shift too on the infield. The entirety of the right side is open.
Makes a ground ball double play difficult, and that's off his foot. Work out of Madison Lake, Minnesota. 5'10", 175. He's a sophomore. 10 different states represented on this South Dakota State team. The next 3-2. Swung on, sky high, out of play. 13 kids like him out of Minnesota, Nebraska, South Dakota, Montana, Iowa, Washington. South Dakota State Jackrabbits play in the Summit League. Brookings, South Dakota, with an enrollment of 12,140, where Nebraska's enrollment is 50,000. Called strike 3, and another one right there on the knees. It's like a backup breaking ball to an inside right-handed hitter.
Yeah, this was a slider. I love the reaction by Trey Fikes, the catcher, too. He knew it right away. There's a fist pump the minute that he hits his glove. Came back from the 3-1 count, got it back to 3-2. Then that slider in the inside part of the plate, Fikes loved it.
6 of the 7 strikeouts have been looking, and as you said, that's back from a 3-1 count on the 9-hole hitter. Now it's back to the top. Seegert looks at strike 1. Stokes is about 15 feet on the grass in right field, the second baseman. So anything slowly hit to the right side past the pitcher is going to be a hit. And that's fairly deep. Pours in a fastball. Crowd into it here, and they get the foul ball. Yasa strikes out 3 in the 5th. total of 8, and you can feel his energy and the energy in the building right now.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night after the leadoff walk. 3 in a row for Yasa to get him off the field in the 5th.
The best bat in the Big 12 just breaks in the leadoff spot. This one is hit to Scottsdale. Superman's for the catch. What can't he do? Words don't describe his dominance.
The Golden Spikes front runner.
This guy's fun to watch.
Little preview of our game later tonight. That's Hairston, who is a superstar, but back here live, a little leadoff single off the bat of one of the leaders of this team, Dylan Carey. And all he's done is reach base 3 times with 2 singles and a walk.
Yeah, we got a fun one tonight, Rev. Ole Miss, Arizona State, 2 very similar teams. There's a bunch of power, there's a bunch of swing and miss, both on the mound and at the plate. Cole Carlone has real swing and miss stuff for Arizona State. Hunter Elliott is a veteran left-hander, pitched in the national championship game for Ole Miss when they won the whole thing.
And swing and miss stuff against a team that swings and misses quite a bit. That could be big numbers for Carlone. You mentioned Elliott and what he has done. And Arizona State, they come in with a little chip. Last time they've been in the World Series was 2010, but as 37-19 this year could have easily been a 2 seed. Ray Bloomquist, the former major leaguer, 14 years in the bigs. So yesterday he was a little concerned about the weather potentially in the forecast. He's like, we're not used to this.
It doesn't rain where we're from.
It doesn't rain in Tempe ever. But we're good. No issues so far. How to play. The baseball players are certainly used to dealing with rain and conditions, and weather was always a problem. And Hoover, Alabama, they dealt with it there as well. A 2-hour and 45-minute delay before the championship. But when you are in a regional and you're playing double elimination, it can screw up your pitching staff if you have to start a guy and then all of a sudden there's a long delay and now he's out of the game and your depth gets yanked in, and if you lose you got to come back the next day and you got to win. It just becomes a little more challenging and complicated.
That's why you see so many of the 1 seeds choose to play first.
Sanderson out of play again.
Like Nebraska's doing right here. It just gives you more flexibility. If it does rain, they push the game back to 6, so what? We'll play at 6.
Right.
Our arms are still the same. Florida notoriously does that every single year. Florida State's doing it this year. Well over half of the 1 seeds chose to play the earlier game.
One-two sails high. .42 wins on the season for that guy, Will Bolt. 23-7 in the Big Ten. Only lost 1 time at home. Runner goes, fouled off. couple of big series, big games. Early April, they went out to Eugene, lost 2 of 3, but both of those were one-run games. And then back home next week, and they swept USC, which is something Will Bolt talked about as being kind of a critical point of the season for them. It's a resilient group, too. Like most teams that have these types of records with 40-plus wins, you're going to have to come from behind. They did that quite a bit. 2-2, Sanderson spoils another.
Yeah, Nebraska, I mean, kind of jumped on the national stage when they swept SC.
Yep.
They swept SC here and came back in game 1 to do it. It obviously leads to the .958 winning percentage. They lost just 1 game, and that was against KU, who ended up being a 1 seed.
Got off to a good start, too. They won 11 straight in the month of March. And they lost 1 to Michigan. They won 10 more in a row. Liner and a chance for 2. And it will be. Caught off first base was Dylan Carey. Something you wouldn't usually see from a veteran, but a line drive from Sanderson into the glove of Work. A quick double play.
I think off the bat, too, you're not quite sure if this ball's going to hit the dirt, but just about does. Nick Work takes it right off the dirt, but clearly catches it. And plenty of time to double off Carey, who reached on an infield single to start the inning.
Here is Drew Grigo, the right fielder, with the wind now shifted back out to left. Inside, ball 1. On the ground of the shortstop, fielded cleanly. And a good strong throw from Keegan Jersley with that double play and the ground up. We've completed 5. Nebraska's got a 2-0 lead over South Dakota State. Middle of the order coming up. Kyle Peterson, Carl Ravitch back here. Yes, sir, Yasa. He's been phenomenal.
He's been great. I mean, he's been their ace all year. They were, I wouldn't say unsure. They seem to be fairly sure that they wanted to throw in game 1. We're seeing why. 8 strikeouts so far through 5 innings. Pitching out's actually been pretty efficient, too. He's kept it down for where he's at. In ideal world, he goes 6 or 7 for Nebraska, but the key number is 0 in the run column so far.
And 8 strikeouts. His season high is 11. Game against Penn State on the 4th of April. It's 2-3-4. Maybe the last big challenge for him as far as order go, and it's a 3-hopper to the second baseman, who seems very comfortable. Rhett Stokes playing very deep out there at second base. There's 1 down. Sun splashed. Knox Field at Haymarket Park. It's turned out to be a glorious day, and these 8, 9, maybe 10,000 on hand for the game. If it is tomorrow night for Nebraska, it'll be loud here.
Yeah, that may be one tomorrow night where you want the fire marshal just to turn his head. because as many that can show up, you'd like to let them in.
There's plenty of hill to sit on in the outfield areas as well as down the third base side. It's a beautiful setup with the way they've done their grassy areas, third base, first base side, and obviously in the outfield in left and in right center. That one's a little high, ahead 0-2. Has it ever been crazy enough to get him on that hill beyond the left field fence?
You may find out tomorrow.
This one is short over the head of the pitcher. Eat it. Uh-oh. He did get up and throw it, Yasa, but it's going to be an infield hit for a walk down. No, KP, I've kind of brought it up a few times. Rhett Stokes plays so deep at second base. It took him a while to get in on this one.
Yeah, there's a lot going on right there. He popped right back up. I mean, here's the anatomy of a hit right here. Exit velo 38 with a launch angle of 48 degrees. If you were to get, I bet that's a hit like 2% of the time. But it was right there.
And it brings the tying run to the plate, and it is their home run hitter, Luke Lusky. And he swings. He got jammed there. This one is shallow right. It's going to stay up long enough for Grigo, the defensive player of the year, to come in and make the play. I should say freshman of the year. There are 2 down.
That's an exhale right there if you're Nebraska, because it feels like that is the one guy. We just about did it already. He hit it to the base of the wall at right center earlier. And that time able to get it in on his hands with fastball from Yasa that's still in the mid-90s.
Luke Jones slowly on the ground to third. Overbeak across the diamond, and a little blooper ended up stranded at first. Through 6, it's 2-0 for Yasa. On this Friday, May 29th afternoon, welcome back everyone to the NCAA Baseball Regionals presented by Capital One. Kevin Clark is our producer today, back with Kyle Peterson. I'm Carl Ravitch. We are in Lincoln, Nebraska. Take a look at the Huskers and South Dakota State, top of this Lincoln bracket. And Nebraska up 2-0, Ole Miss and Arizona State. The SEC represented Arizona State, the West Power for so many years, with a tremendous college baseball pedigree. Madison back on the mound. He gets set and he throws the first one over to Jet Buck, who got the rally started in the 4th with a double off the glove of the third baseman Nolan Law. This one's speeding into the ground, and a nice hop for Jerschley, who throws across the diamond. He's been busy today.
Obviously the times changed a little bit, but let's go back to the old school pack for a minute.
Yep.
Wazoo, Oregon State, Oregon, SC, UCLA, Arizona State, all in. Who am I missing? Am I missing anybody?
What'd you say? You
No
said
Stanford, no Cal.
right. You said
No
Washington
Arizona.
State.
Yeah.
Washington.
Not a. No, but you get 6 right there, and three of them hosting? 2 of them hosting, UCLA and Oregon. Got to get one Pac-12 reference in every game.
I love it. I like that. Well,
at least.
Even talking with some of the guys yesterday, the idea that those teams have moved into the Big Ten, credibility-wise, softball, baseball, it certainly helps the conference. Add some frequent flyer miles, etc. But
yeah, I mean, so much, and understandably so, is focused on football and basketball when conferences realign. But when you look at the Big Ten, when you bring Oregon, Washington, UCLA, and SC from a baseball and softball standpoint, I mean, it's a big-time boost.
And how about bringing Nebraska to the world of volleyball on the West Coast? Phenomenal. The Big Ten, I'm sorry. There's a swing and a miss.
Yeah, you got to look at the Devaney Center for the first time.
I saw it.
Huh?
My goodness.
You got to get inside it when they're playing. It is a pretty awesome setting. And they snuck 91,000 in that place across the street to watch a volleyball game last year, too.
You mean that big football building?
Oh, yeah, that one.
No swing. Interesting. You know, you drive up to Memorial Stadium and you see that they have the championship years represented. But I thought from a distance it said, I forgot, 77. You said, no, it's not 77. It's 97.
97's the last one.
But it's also been a little bit quiet since 97. But these other sports, certainly here in Nebraska, have filled the bill when it comes to championship contenders.
Rab, all you got to do is you come to Omaha or Lincoln in July and start listening to sports radio. This is going to be the year.
3-2, slow roller. Madison is up, underhand for the out. Overbeek retired.
I would say Ty Madison's done his job since coming in. I mean, he's kept it right here. Now you just got to see if the South Dakota State offense can put anything together against Yasa, which has been very difficult to do today.
And you were right. There were some people who wondered, like, do we start Yasa in this game because it's South Dakota State? And this plan was put in place not like 3 days ago. That they rearranged their pitching in order to be able to have Yasa pitch in game 1, regardless of who it was going to be against. And their own experience with South Dakota State rendered that decision in his mind moot. We're using him. We got to win this game.
It was a 5-4 game that they played earlier this year. Nebraska had to score in the 8th to win that game.
Fighting Bishops down just 2-zip with 2 outs. Fikes looks at one right over the middle. Nebraska was out of the Big Ten tournament when they lost to Oregon in the semis. Will Bolt, he picked up his 200th career win in a game against USC. He's the 6th Nebraska coach to get to 200. That's off the end of the bat. Madison's got plenty of time, and he will flip to his buddy Funke at first base. 3 quick ground ball outs, keeps him in it. We head to the 7th. Nebraska up 2-0.
and the real fun just getting started.
Run straight for the breakaway.
The celebration is on. Tigers with a dog pile last year. No Jay Johnson. LSU Tigers this year in the field. Auburn gets beaten today by Milwaukee. Badly 13-8. They got to several of the better pitchers for Auburn.
Well, and important too, because that is the winner of that Auburn regional. The winner of this Lincoln regional will meet in a super. Now Auburn wins, they host.
Yep.
Auburn does not win, and Nebraska wins. Nebraska would host a super next week.
How do you think they'd feel about that in Lincoln?
I think they'd show up. Your little backhill idea may get tested if that happens.
Seventh inning of work for Carson Yassa, who has struck out 8. Didn't get a strikeout the last inning, but he faced 4 the inning before, 3 the inning before that. That's a rare one right there. Not necessarily for Carter Taylor and the Jackrabbits, but again, every time you put a runner on via walk or hit batter, you've got the tying run at the plate.
Yeah, it was just a breaking ball that got away, a double barrel action, which is understandable. Jay-Sean Unger's been so good for him at the back end this year. Their ideal would be to only throw Yassa and Unger today. Now, whether they want to stretch him out to 9 outs, I'm not sure. But even though Yassa's been so good up to that point, the leash is going to be pretty
Hold your horses
short right now.
Hold the horses. Good meeting here after you hit a batter. He stretched a little bit in the last inning. Kind of got the impression in talking with Will Bolt, KP, that as you said, the ideal is to get it to Jay-Sean Unger, who's got 12 saves, 5th in the country, 6-1 record.
I'm going to tell you this, Rob Childress, when he goes out, there may be a little challenging right now, but Rob knows a thing or two about trips to the mound. When he starts pointing right there, he's not taking him out of the ball. At least if he is, it's going to surprise me. That's one where, all right, bud, whatever you got left, empty the tank now, because you're not going back out there for the 8th regardless.
And I think they would go to. It feels like
they get to the 8th to go down.
Yeah.
They get to if it's this inning, they got a decision.
The bridge to Unger. We'll see. First Franke after the hit batter. Taylor leads off first. Ripped into right field. That's going to get down. That's going to move Taylor to third base easily. And the elevated fastball was ripped by Franke. And here come the Jackrabbits.
Well, they're going to get a little help to start it, and then Franke gets an elevated fastball, 95 right there. Didn't waste any time. 2 pitches in the inning. Hit one, single down the right field line, and now the Huskers do have a decision to make.
Franke has reached 3 times today with a couple of singles. Sandwiched in between was a walk. Keegan Jerschley has struck out twice. He lays down a good one coming from third. Here's your flip. Get it home. Carter Taylor busted on the bunt. And he was dead as Yassa fielded it and flipped it to Fikes.
Well, and this is the only play they had. The way that Nebraska defended this, they charged from first base and vacated, and Stokes was not going to get there in time from second because they had the shift on. He started behind second base. So your only shot, and that's one of the reasons why you put it on, is you got to get the base runner home if you crash from first. The minute Sanderson vacates, then it's really on Yassa. He fields it, plenty of time to flip it. Good tag from Fikes to get that lead runner.
Taylor just took off and that was put down. Nick Work, 9-hole hitter. Nearly got hit himself. It's 1-0. Is that a read play for Taylor when that ball gets put down?
Well, it's a safety. Your read is down, really. Anything down, you're going to go from third base.
Animated fans thought that was a swing. And Childress comes back to the mound here again. And some high fives and some celebration for the work done by Yassa. A standing ovation. Yasa out of the game. Unger is in. We'll talk more about him in a moment. Nebraska trying to hang on here against a very game and battling South Dakota State team. Later tonight, Ole Miss and Arizona State right here on ESPN2. Had runners at first and third. The sacrifice squeeze was put down, and it was Yasa who made the play to cut down the runner at home. There were the numbers on 95 pitches. And he hands it over to Jason Unger, who has been outstanding.
Yeah, Yasa was great today. Didn't give up anything other than singles, but now this is a guy that trusted the back end of the bullpen. Jason Unger on for the 25th time, leads them with 12 saves, just less than a strikeout per inning. 35 strikeouts and 37 to third, but was giving up just 27 hits.
With the count 2-0 already, his first pitch makes it 2-1. 93 is about the top when it comes to his fastball velocity. Slider, curveball, changeup, and splitter. The slider is unhittable, and that one is out of play. He's gone back to back with some pace on it. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes, and he's pumped up at 95 miles an hour. This will be a statement, perhaps, if he can get the job done against Work. Just missed. Really good take by Nick Work, who has shown he has got a phenomenal eye at the plate. Walk and a strikeout. "3-2, that's past the dive of the third baseman Overbeek into left field. Franke's coming home. Here's the throw. It is close. He's out. Billy Van Raphorst, the home plate umpire, with the out call, and immediately looked in the South Dakota State dugout to see if they're going to challenge.
Dakota is challenging the out call at home plate. The play's under review.
This one is close.
It is close, and off the bat, it didn't look like it was going to be. Jet Buck made a big-time play out in left field to just give Nebraska a chance. The ball is there. The question is, does the front foot get under the tag? 96 miles an hour off the bat. Buck, and he didn't even charge as much. He couldn't. He had to go laterally to get to it. Ball there. Does that front foot get down to touch the plate?
It looked like that heel might have gotten that plate.
That's a pretty good slide right there by Franke to just give him a chance, because you got to get that front foot down and touch the plate as soon as you possibly can. You can see Fikes holding the ball up saying, "I've got it in my glove." Where does he actually tag him?
Oh,
he got him early. Yeah, I think he's out. He got him early. That was a heck of a defensive play. Started in left field, and then Fikes to take the short hop and slap the tag on as soon as he could.
I think you're right, but it's so often that runner's foot pops up. In his case, what a job Franke did to keep it down. The best angle at least appears to be the one maybe there where it shows he does get him early, right on that hamstring area.
So we have talked about how good this defense is for Nebraska.
Yes.
I mean, that's two different plays in this inning. That you got a safety bunt down, out, single to left, out.
What a tag by Fikes.
After review, the ruling of out is confirmed. South Dakota has 1 challenge remaining.
And think about it.
You got to be careful with the first pitch right here, because you got all the emotion of the ballpark right now. You got the leadoff hitter up at Seegert. South Dakota State has shown the ability to be aggressive early. Wouldn't be surprised if Seeger's going after something, maybe likes a first pitch fastball.
You think about Fikes behind home plate. He was there because he's really the personal catcher for Yasa. Otherwise, it would have been the freshman Worthley behind the plate. He made a terrific tag on a great throw from Buck. Seegert swings and pulls it foul. South Dakota State has been pushing on that door and pushing on the door. You had a play, 2 of them at the plate. One by Yasa on a squeeze, and then Jet Buck. And that's an automatic run, KP.
Every
on a single into left like that.
A lot of times you're looking to second base to see that's where the throw's going to go. Good take.
The other part of that is oftentimes you'll see that cut off, and that was a low enough throw that perhaps it eliminated the decision for the infielder who was in the position to cut it off to let it go. Seegert, that one is into left, and that will get at least 1 run in. Rounding and coming home, and it is 2-1. Clutch hitting South Dakota State. Owen Seegert. That were it not for the defense, Jersley would not be the first run scored by South Dakota State. It's 2-1.
Oh, but just a solid offensive approach. It started from the bottom part of the South Dakota State order. 3rd hit in the inning is the leadoff hitter Owen Seegert. You got no chance to run anybody out at home. And in this case, Nick Work goes first to 3rd. So that tying run just 90 feet away with 2 outs there.
For Nolan Graw, 1st and 3rd. This has been the inning for South Dakota State. They've had 2 thrown out at home. As that pitch is in, it's ball 1. 2 plays at the plate. Carson Yasa, the starter, had been so great for Nebraska. He comes out of the game. And now it's the number 2 hitter, Nolan Graw, trying to tie this thing up as Unger misses outside. Kyle Peterson and Carl Ravitch, Lincoln, Nebraska. It was 2-0 when this inning started. And what an inning it's been for both teams. (2-0). This one is maybe going to stay in the yard towards the line. It will bounce, but nobody can get there. A good effort by Overbeek, and another life for South Dakota State.
Well, it may be a what could have been inning right here for South Dakota State. Safety squeeze, well played by Yasu, was still in the ball game, and then Jet Buck, that's the throw of the game right there from left field. Perfect tag by Fikes. That kept South Dakota State off the board, but they have added 1 on the 2-out single just a minute ago.
Tying run 90 feet away. Unger just into the game on a 2-1. 3 balls and a strike. And they bring Unger in, who's a sophomore with 12 saves on the year, 5th best in the country, 6-1 with his record, 35 strikeouts in 37 innings. Can Graw deliver for the Jackrabbits? 3-1. Jammed, it's full, 3-2. Overbeek is even with the bag at third base. You can see Red Stokes, the second baseman, has done this all game long. He's about 15 feet into the outfield in shallow right. Sellout crowd on its feet. Draw spoils one outside. The Summit League tournament champion, South Dakota State, beat Oral Roberts twice in a very hostile environment. Three-two down. The bases are loaded, and it was a good take by Nolan Graw. What an opportunity for Nate Wachter, the right fielder, who grounded into a double play in the third, but he's got two singles to go with it.
But you got high school teammates facing each other right now. Two kids from Blair, Nebraska going head to head.
Unger not close with the first one. How about that setup? And that's a good decision here to go out and talk to Unger.
I think this is just a slow the heartbeat down discussion right here, because there's nobody up in that Nebraska bullpen, and there's not going to be with Unger in the game.
South Dakota State is 7 games under 500 on the season. They had to win the Summit Tournament to get here. Rob Bishop has been the head coach since 2017. They are in the postseason for the first time in a long time. He's out there getting some confirmation on the meeting. And Unger is in the spot of his life. Now they're going to have an offensive timeout.
Now Rob Bishop can bring everybody in. 4 teams got into this NCAA tournament with a losing record. One has already won today. Milwaukee knocked off Auburn. Now South Dakota State is swing away here in the 7th inning from taking a late lead on Nebraska. St. Mary's leads UCLA 3-2 in the 9th in Westwood.
Fascinating the way the Bruins have played the end of this season, with so many times having to come from behind. But the big story is what's going on right here, with Nebraska clinging to a 2-1 lead. There have been 2 plays at the plate, both called out. One on a squeeze, the other on a ball hit into left field. Nate Wachter ready for the pitch from Unger, and he lands a fastball.
Just think of the number of times these kids faced each other in fall ball. Probably played together on travel teams growing up, then played at Blair High School just over an hour away, now head to head here in the 7th.
Unger's next one, he got him to chase up top. He's a strike away. And here comes the crowd. With a slider, and look at the emotion from Unger and this crowd.
Well, the Huskers dodged a bullet right there. South Dakota State was fired at him from every spot. 2 great defensive plays for Nebraska to keep South Dakota State off the board. They out one with a 2-out single, but Jayshon Unger, the closer, comes in, punches out his former teammate to get the Huskers in the dugout.
What a heck of an inning. 1 run comes in for South Dakota State. It's a 1-run ball game, bottom 7. The defense shining, and that is certainly one of the calling cards of this Husker team this season. First pitch popped up, foul ground. Franke is making the play. He did not run out of room. It stayed in, and he makes the play, and Stokes is retired. For complete coverage of everything happening with the baseball regionals, head to the NCAA.com site for the latest news, expert insight, and analysis. So many ways to consume college baseball, D1 baseball, phenomenal. NCAA.com squeeze play during this time of year is the best address to go to watch the games. As Mac Moyer steps in, squares, pulls it back, and it's ball 1.
Don't let it get lost in this either, to what Ty Madison has done since coming out of the bullpen from South Dakota State. Kept Nebraska where they were. Has given South Dakota State to fight back and get within 1. And he has shown why he's been their most trusted reliever the entire year.
It's 2 balls, no strikes.
If he wants to bunt right here, allow him to do it. It looks like a take. And he could shelve the breaking ball, try to pump a fastball in there, get back in a count.
Interesting conversation with Mac around the cages yesterday about the golf swing and the baseball swing. He's an accomplished golfer to go with his baseball skills. It's now 3-1. Many will tell you that's the reason that most pitchers play golf and the hitters don't, because it messes up your swing. He liked to.
He's not on that train.
Conveniently go the other way.
Yes.
Says, I think it helps me square the ball up more. I have to hit it in the face.
I think he's also played some pretty decent golf courses, so I'll take his approach.
You got a good count, 3-1, swung at it and put it out of play.
Two outs in Westwood, 3-2 game. Runner on first. Rock at the plate.
Well, the way things have gone, that means Rock will either tie it or win it. That's how it's gone for the Bruins recently. In a day that has certainly been littered with upsets and some dominating performances by some of the top seeds, including Georgia Tech, Texas. Gaudy numbers. And no, there is no run rule in the postseason. The regionals, you can win by 18 or 20, 21, and the game doesn't end in the 7th inning if you're leading by that many. Moyer slaps one the other way. It's going to go foul. And the Bruins, the UCLA Bruins, lose in the opener of the regional. They've been flirting with disaster seemingly every game they play, and it bit them today as they go down along with Auburn and Southern Miss.
USC upstate beat Oklahoma State. That was a 2-3. Missouri State just down the road in Lawrence has an early 2-0 lead on Arkansas.
Moyer spoils another one. Well, the portal, NIL, rev share, and a lot of people will tell you that there's just a lot more parity, a lot more very good baseball players spread around the country. UCLA losing just feels like a shocker. And Moyer hooks one, and that's going to go foul.
Not this battle.
Tell you this, he's getting it on the face of the club.
Well, he's not afraid to play a fade or a draw right now. So.
Son of Jamie Moyer, a whole bunch of kids in that family. Talked about his 2 brothers, his number of sisters that he had. 3-2, hit it hard, snared over there at first. Franke, he will flip. Nice job by Madison. Yeah, Moyer flushed it. The result wasn't good. The process was, but there were 2 down. Seen some defense in this game, KP.
Yeah, we came in raving about Nebraska's, and they have shown you why. But that That one right there probably saved extra bases. That gets down the line the way that Moyer runs. He's probably standing at second.
Fourth time up for Worthley, looking for his first hit, first time on base. And this one is short, charged. Difficult hop, but a very nice play by Keegan Jerchley, who's done that 10 million times in his life. A 1-2-3 inning to the 8th. The Jackrabbits trying to knock on that door again. Let's take a look at the Capital One rewarding performance, and there's really two of them. One here, Jossa on a squeeze comes up. The only play he has was to the plate, and that was relatively easy compared to this one. This is Jet Buck in left field, picks it up. Watch the third baseman Overbeek, maybe thinks about cutting it, says no, that's not a good idea, and the incredible tag by Trey Fikes to nail Carter Taylor at the plate.
That Fikes tag is more like you see a second baseman or a shortstop on a stolen base, to where it's just a swipe tag and you got to get there as quickly as you possibly can. It's the only chance he had.
So we're 2-1, and it's now 1 ball, 1 strike. It's Jason Unger, who under clean inning. Remember, he came in and inherited a 2-0 count. Difficult for anybody, and found himself in a big-time pickle. Luke Lusky is a threat to tie it with a swing. He's a big home run hitter. Oof. I was thinking about it right there.
He's probably going to have to hit some spin right now.
Yep.
This is one you don't want to hang in the middle of the plate because he can make a 2-2 really quick.
But you go back to that spot and you'll get yourself a strikeout. And he went Cheddar instead. The letter Cheddar to get him out.
2 big strikeouts in a row for Jason Unger. He gets a strikeout of Wachter to finish off the 7th. Now this time, after a good swing and miss on the break, or excuse me, on the breaking ball before, elevated 94 up and out of the zone, and Lusky can't hold off.
It's an easy delivery, isn't it, watching Jason Unger? On the ground, fielded cleanly on a good charge by Overbeek, and he throws across the diamond. 2 down in the 8th. And now Taylor. Really good take.
Hey, all the way back. Throw your neck, Jay, all the way.
3-0. 3-1. Unger, who grew up in Missouri Valley, Iowa, and then later in Blair, throws 3-1 and gets it to 3-2. Part of the reason he ended up in the role that he did was his composure and his confidence. He's facing a big one here, 3-2. And Taylor pops it up on the infield. Second baseman Stokes is there to make the play, and that's the third out. Bottom 8 coming up. Huskers have 3, 4, 5 trying to add to a 1-run lead. Long time ago, but Hunter Elliott was on the mound as a freshman, 2022 College World Series. He was really good that night. And in fact, that postseason, he was 2-0, allowed 4 earned, struck out 28. The clinching game of that final against Oklahoma, he gave up 2 earned, he struck out 6. He's back on the mound tonight as Ole Miss begins the 2026 postseason with a game against Arizona State right here in Lincoln.
He's battled back from Tommy John, missed the better part of 2 years, but Hunter Elliott tonight, cold card loan on the other side for Arizona State against 2 offenses that can run it out, and Landon Hairston, who may win the Golden Spikes.
Hairston's a leadoff guy, and that's one of the questions Bloomquist, the manager Willie Bloomquist, familiar name to Major League Baseball fans around the country. It's one of those old adages of let me get my best hitter the most plate appearances. And Carey swings there. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. He's missed a hanger from Madison. Continues to throw zeros on the board since he's come on in relief. First meeting this season, Nebraska led 4-0, and the Jackrabbits tied at 4-4. This ball driven deep to left field. Taylor back, and it is out of here. the fourth-year senior has waited his entire existence at Nebraska for. He didn't get drafted. He was all bummed about it. He wants to play pro ball, and he has a big-time moment to give Nebraska some security. Dylan Carey makes it 3-1 as he hits his 15th home run of the year and his 64th RBI. JP, it felt like Nebraska needed that.
I would agree.
Got a chance on squeeze play to see the biggest home run of his career, and he's had a lot. But a 2-run cushion now against a team that has fought valiantly in this game. South Dakota State had so many chances in the 7th inning. They played it 1, but they had 2 runners thrown out at home. As good as Madison has been, going to get a visit on the mound, and he has been a saver.
How sweet must this feel for Dylan Carey? A kid that he's got over 1,000 collegiate plate appearances. Over 1,000. But he's waited the entire time for this opportunity, the chance to play home baseball in Lincoln in the postseason. And the senior shortstop goes deep for the 15th time this year and extends that Husker lead here in the 8th, gives this crowd one more thing to yell about today. Just shy of 8,000 here today, Rav. 78-28 the attendance. There will be more tomorrow night if the Huskers hold on.
And imagine the chills that Carey had doing both that and rounding the bases and just enjoying the flight of that ball to left field. First time Madison has yielded anything since he's come on in relief, and that next pitch misses up. Carey has absolutely taken on a leadership role on this team. He knows the responsibilities of being a 4th-year senior. They were shocked in some ways that he even came back to play at Nebraska.
Yeah, I think they were shocked in many ways. They end of last year, you think you're not going to get Carey back, and he's going to be a good senior sign for somebody, man. I mean, you go hit 15 home runs this year. He's only got 4 errors at shortstop, but he's played essentially every inning.
Big guy, too. I mean, bigger than perhaps even the TV shows, as that one is gone. Madison ends up walking Sanderson. But a typical 6'2", 210 strong kid at shortstop. You're looking at the guy that just delivered the big blast to make it 3-1. You didn't see it on squeeze play. You had a squeeze play that was denied at home, and then you had a shot in the left field, which results in a run seemingly 90% of the time. And the runner was thrown out at home. That one is popped up. Dive, nice play. They got a chance for 2, and they will. Wow, what a play by Nolan Graw to come in and dive and turn the double play.
Well, it's going to take some defensive plays like this to keep it where it is. Nolan Graw just sells out. I mean, full sprint. This is kind of one of those where you can live with the fact if it goes past him. If you got a chance to turn a double play in a game this tight in the 8th inning, you lay out, give yourself a shot, then it's an easy doubling off of Sanderson at first base to take some of the air out of this place.
Yeah, and probably help Matt, put some air back into Madison's sails.
He came in the 4th.
I know. I'm not certain that he would have what you would need to get into the 9th inning. This ball is rocketed to right field. It's got some carry. It is out of here. How about the day for Jet Buck? Cuts down a run at home and then drives one out of his own. (4-1) Nebraska.
I talked to Rob Childers before the game with the wind blowing in from right, and he said, yeah, it's not going to go to right, except if you keep it right in line with the scoreboard. And if you keep it in line with the scoreboard, it's got a chance to carry just like it would any other day. And it's exactly where this ball was hit off the bat of Jet Buck.
Team that hit only 60 home runs during the regular season, and 2 massive, monumental blasts today.
This is having a day for the senior, man. You throw somebody out at home plate, and that's a breaking ball down and away. That's not an easy one to stay on. And he rides it right in front of that scoreboard to right center. 2 solo shots in the inning for Nebraska.
A double, a homer, and an outfield assist to nail the runner at home for Jet Buck.
Do it for the flag, baby. Do it for the flag, baby.
Madison, you would understand if that tank is starting to run close to empty. That's a foul ball into the glove, so it's 1-2. Bishop pushed all of his cards to the center of the table when he had his ace Schlecht on the mound, and now Madison, who is
on fumes.
Perhaps tiring for sure.
He is on fumes, but he's giving him a chance. And man, I mean, if you're going to go down against Nebraska, the 1 seed, you go down swinging with your best.
Yep.
I like that approach.
Again, the Jackrabbits won the Summit League Conference Tournament. Surprising fashion, they had to beat Oral Roberts twice, and they did it 7-3, 9-6 to get them to this spot. And then you come into an environment that is baseball crazy right now. In fact, diamond crazy, given their softball team is in the College World Series. And this team is hosting a regional for the first time since 2008. Madison is an absolute workhorse, and Tarps off has made it to Nebraska. Shocking development.
Yes.
What took so long?
Not far away from Missouri. It didn't take long to get here.
2-2 with every foul ball. You get the sense Madison is just saying, like, uncle, come on.
It's kind of a hit it at somebody time right now.
There is activity in the bullpen, as Bishop and everyone else can read the room as well, with Madison, who is throwing 64 pitches. Now 65, and that's a good way to walk off with a strikeout of Overbeek. Thought KP, but before that,
Dylan Carey got the party started. 15th of the year out to left. That solo shot gave Nebraska a 3-1 lead. Solo shot by Jet Buck extends it 4-1. Huskers 3 outs away.
came here hoping to witness a victory in the opening game of the regionals at home, and Nebraska puts that crooked number up in the 8th inning, and it is now 4-1. A 3-run lead. We go to the 9th, last chance for South Dakota State. Don't forget Ole Miss, Arizona State later tonight right here on this ball field, 9 o'clock Eastern time on ESPN2. This has been a heck of a ball game. Terrific defense. Some really good starting pitching and some timely hitting. Unger, fastball down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Unger was a kid who was in the portal. He went away, he pitched, he kind of got his confidence back. Childress called and said, "Are you sure you want to be leaving us?" And they brought him back, and look at where he is now.
Yeah, there was no doubt in talking to this Nebraska coaching staff yesterday who they wanted at the back end of the game.
They haven't gotten this guy out. Dayton Franke, 2 singles and a walk. 2-2, Jayshon Unger. The way that Franke swings that bat, it's like a toothpick. It just looks really light in his hands. He's got very quick hands. Foot 230. Plymouth, Minnesota. Ready again. Contact, but perfectly placed overbeat. And the defensive shift way off of third with the lefty worked beautifully. There's 1 out in the 9th.
Hello, squeeze play. Hope we're doing. We may have had the switch already. KB may have kicked Schick out already.
Button in?
Yeah, I think Button may be in the big chair. So she's taking care of the 2 next to her right now.
Babysitting again. She is the Jayshon Unger in our world. Coming on in relief, trying to close it. We got a pinch hitter, number 13, Mason Lang, hitting for Keegan Jersley. With 1 out, Nebraska trying to avoid a little bit of a bugaboo that has bitten some of the top seeds today. Squeeze play will, of course, update you on the UCLA loss today. They lost. Auburn loses on the Plains. That is on the corner for a strike. It's 0-2.
The winner of that Auburn bracket meets the winner of this bracket. A&M has come back. They now lead Lamar 6-5 after going down 5-0.
Close. The crowd wanted it. Didn't miss by much, but down. Unger was dancing. He wanted it. Over 8,000 filling this place. He gets the strikeout. They're 1 out away.
For this fan base, this is the dress rehearsal for tomorrow night.
So they have more red in the closets?
They'll find it.
Unger trying to finish. The 9-hitter Nick Work. He looks at strike 1. One strike away. That's it. And the Huskers make a statement at home. And their first regional since '08 on this field. They win it 4-1.
I'd say you saw a lot of reasons why Nebraska has been as good as they have all year. Yasa was outstanding to start. Unger, a little iffy right when he came in, but the spots they needed him most, He finishes the ball game out after he came into the 7th. 2 solo home runs and perfect defense to give Nebraska a day 1 win.
Perfect defense. 2 plays at the plate. And Unger picks up for Yasa. That combination, plus the defense and the homers, carry the Huskers. Unger gets it done to finish it, but there was a whole bunch of phenomenal action before that. Home runs from Carey, and then another one from Jet Buck, who was really the MVP of this game with his defense and his bat. Nebraska, tomorrow night, 8 Eastern time, will get the winner of Ole Miss and Arizona State. South Dakota State now moves into the unenviable position of playing in the elimination game at 3 Eastern time tomorrow. That will do it for us from here. What a way to start the regional in Lincoln. They win it by a final score of 4-1. Starting pitching, relief pitching, power from the bats that you don't usually see, and great defense. For Kyle Peterson and our entire crew, our producer was Kevin Clark today. I'm Carl Ravitch saying so long. Thanks for watching the Lincoln Regional on ESPN+.